Another Survivor season has begun. We love watching Survivor in my house, and by we, I mean the 2-year-old, the 8-year-old, the 40-year-old, and the 41-year-old. I've applied twice, and I will keep applying until I get on, because I'd be great, and I'd do great. Hey, I'm Kathy Ellen. I'm a mama, teacher, reader, writer, and Ninja Warrior athlete, and I'm going to do reaction book recommendations for each episode of Survivor this season. What does that mean? That means after each episode, I'm going to share with you the vibes I got while watching the episode, and then recommend 3 books based on those vibes. Do not keep watching this video if you don't want to know who got voted out in episode 1 of season 47, because I'm going to talk about it. Okay, on to the vibes. It was predictably a messy and chaotic episode because everyone was just meeting each other and trying to figure out who to trust. Plus, one of the challenges involved a boat and 2 teams tipped over that boat. Hey, I'm not saying it's their fault. That looked pretty difficult. Those chests looked very heavy. I'm just saying it was chaotic. We've also got one contestant running around trying to find an idol, thinking nobody knows about his advantage, Rome, when everyone actually does know about it. And another contestant who has an advantage, Gabe, that one person definitely knows about and the other is suspicious about. Oh, I just happened to find this key. Yeah, right. But I think the biggest story in this episode was one contestant, Andy, who got paranoid and discussed his plans for who he wanted to vote out and throw under the bus, John, his ally, in front of all 3 tribes after his tribe lost the challenge. Seriously, who does that? Look, I'll be paranoid if I get out there too, because you can take me out of my regular habitat, but you can't take the anxiety out of me. It comes with me wherever I go. And first impressions count. You may be a mess out there, but you got to keep that to yourself, or your very trusted ally, or just the confessionals. You cannot be saying it in front of your tribe and the other 2 tribes. Well, actually, I guess you can, because then you're going to be such an obvious target that it actually gives your tribe mates an opportunity to throw the votes on someone else, and that's what they ended up doing. The votes landed on John, with the tribe members thinking he wasn't strong enough to help them win immunity challenges, / he was potentially a bigger threat. Okay, I have to do a little rant here. This part about not strong enough really frustrates me. Every contestant can't be bursting with muscles, yet any that aren't are always looked at being the first to be voted off, because many people only see strong as one way. And honestly, I blame the United States culture for it. But also, a lot of these challenges do need a lot of brute strength. Maybe we mix it up a little bit, because there are so many other ways to be strong, as you'll see in one of my book recommendations. And also, can we please get more older people on the show? With only 1 on each tribe, that also makes it a real easy reason to vote someone off. But that wouldn't be the case if the ages were more mixed up. And for the most part, a lot of people who are the same age are going to get along better than someone who is a different age than them. Listen, I'd be down for a season where we have like 4 people who are 40 and up and 2 20-year-olds. Let's flip the script and the tables a little bit. Through it all, though, John had great responses and confessionals, and he kept his composure. Way better than I would have if someone said in front of everyone that they were going to throw me under the bus. I would have made a face for sure, and they would have zoomed right in on it. Vibes report done. Now on to the book recs. This first one is for Andy and anyone who's dealing with anxiety, because I'd argue that anxiety is at the root of the feeling that no one likes you. It's First We Make the Beast Beautiful, A New Journey Through Anxiety by Sarah Wilson. I love this book so much because it's not about dealing with anxiety, it's about thriving with anxiety and figuring out how it can help you lead a richer life. It has practical advice about how to embrace your anxiety, and the format is awesome. There's lots of room on the side margins to add your own commentary or take notes, like I did a few times here. My copy is underlined and marked up, and I think it would be a great book for anyone to read. Also, did you notice no dust jacket? Look, the flap copy is just inside the book. This is awesome for people with anxiety because you don't have to worry about whether you take the jacket off, do you throw it away, do you worry about it getting beat up? Love it. My next book recommendation is one for anyone who thinks strong just means physical strength. It's called Strong, and on the front it says There is More Than One Way to Be Strong by Clara Anganuzzi. This is a gorgeous picture book about a darling dragon named Maurice, who does not like to breathe fire. He likes to pick flowers, so it's no surprise that he doesn't do very well at a competition that is looking for the physically strongest dragon, until his strengths like noticing nuances, weaving together bouquets of flowers, and figuring out creative ways to problem solve help him rescue the dragon that everyone thinks is the strongest. This is a fun story with some danger and daring and a great relatable theme that strong can mean so many things. And we shouldn't fall into the trap of thinking that there's only one way to be successful and only one way to be perceived as strong. This last one is for John and anyone who's ever felt like they gave it their all and things didn't work out. It's called Keep Going, 10 Ways to Stay Creative in Good Times and Bad by Austin Kleon. This book shares 10 simple lessons on how to stay focused, creative, and true to yourself through the good times and the bad. And they're conveniently listed on the back. Honestly, John probably doesn't need this book because he did great, even though he was dealt a bad hand after that challenge. And from his exit interviews, it sounds like he's still doing great. But I know we've all been in those circumstances where things seem out of our control and we don't know what to do, except we know we don't want to give up. We want to try, but we're not always sure how. Each of the 10 lessons is filled with little bits of practical advice, and you can dip in and out of this book for inspiration. Plus, it has a beautiful format. It's got Austin's handwriting, blackout poetry, illustrations, and more. It's a book that makes you feel good about the situation that you're in and inspired to do some good as you make your way back to yourself. Bonus, no toxic positivity in sight, or advice that you can do only if someone else is taking care of your every need. Like those men who are fathers that talk about having 3 hours of a morning routine every morning, and that's the only way to be successful. Like, who is watching your kids, my dude? And if morning routines are the only way to success, why are you willing to throw the person who's watching your kids' success out the window so that you can have yours? That's conversation for another time. So there you have it. There's the book recs. We'll see what happens in next week's episode. Thanks for hanging out, and until next time, happy reading and keep surviving.